You want to know what's weird about writing? It's one of those jobs that when you tell people about it, they never respond, wow, that's interesting. Whatever do you write about? No. When you tell them, you're much more likely to get, I've always thought I could write a book. In my spare time, like you. Like you're a hobbyist. Like anyone can sit down and write a book and get published. Like it's super easy. And so I think what I'm going to do from now on is no matter what someone tells me they do for a living, I'm going to respond in a light kind. Oh, a brain surgeon? I've got a saw. I could do that shit, you dumbass. Electrical engineer? I've got a pair of wire snips. I'm going to rewire a Boeing 747 and give your ass a free ticket. No problem. So full of yourselves, you writers.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Just another antisocial writer. Which brings me to our topic of the week. This week we're talking about social networking. And I think that to talk about it adequately, you have to break it apart. So let's talk about the social a little bit. I don't know about you, but I've met a lot of writers, and I feel like the majority of them, I'm gonna go with 80%, are pretty socially inept. My number one qualm about writers in general is that they rarely ask about someone else. They have a tendency to be so internalized with what they're doing that it doesn't cross their mind to ask people like what's going on in their lives. A good 80% of the writers I've met have been exactly that. And it's felt very cold and very isolating and like there's just a bunch of walls. And I think that writers become comfortable with walls, because we are so solitary in what we do for a living. So when a writer's ready to turn the page to that next chapter of their career and get published, the next part is so contrary to how they've been living that it proves to be very difficult for the most part. Right off the bat, when you become involved with a publishing house, one of the first things they suggest, or what agents suggest or whatever, is that you get an author website going and that you get a blog going. Get out there, interact with your public. The problem with this is that most authors don't know what to do with a blog. It's not like there's a handbook or anything. So half of them are just repeating what other people are doing, and the other half are just spamming. And so it ends up becoming this really uninteresting sort of a thread across author websites, is that there are these blogs that all pretty much have the same content, and it just turns out to be a wash. I think where an author can make some impact is in the networking piece, through being on Twitter and Facebook, and to some extent YouTube. I think YouTube is actually a really interesting tool for making connections between authors and readers, or just, people and people. There's a huge community of book lovers on YouTube. We're even calling ourselves the booktubers now. And there's some great websites out there that you guys don't need to look all that far to find. I mean, the Readables is huge. I Eat Words is another great channel. There's Lizzie Books is doing some different things. She actually has a Friday show called the BookTube News, which talks about all the different websites that are talking about different things. So there's places to look. I started about a year ago on YouTube, and it's not something that comes naturally to anyone, really. I think you just have to be willing to open yourself up and just be vulnerable and talk just like you normally talk. It has the potential to be much more communicative in the thread. The thread reminds me of LiveJournal, which was a much more interactive sort of a thing. And the addition of the collab channels is really exciting. That's why I'm so excited about being a rebel. And that's it. I think that's all I have to say about it. Really, I hated to be blog bashing the entire time because I'm a member of quite a few blogs. But at the same time, it's not my favorite thing. And when I go to the internet, I don't go and search out blogs and read blogs and things like that. And that can also be a personal taste thing. But I also don't like to read the same thing back to back to back when I'm reading books. It makes it difficult for me to maintain an interest. So that's what I'm saying.